those back off.
She won't. She won't.
Probably
So
not.
everybody, nice to see you. We've been talking behind the scenes that, you know, there's one thing, you meet somebody online. Now, there's plenty around, and we get people who come to us all the time. A lady this morning, and then she said, and she'd met somebody on TikTok, and guess what? It wasn't real. And she said, I'm never going to meet anybody. And I thought, how many times do we have to tell you? You're not going to meet anybody on social media. Every single person who is coming to you on social media is going to be them lot over there.
Right. Right. I mean, if we didn't have social media back when I first started dating, actually, we didn't have it when I second dated. But anyway, I mean, we got out, we got around, we had friends of
Yeah,
friends,
yeah.
work, friends, various people that could introduce us to other people or places to go. Yes, as we get older, sometimes it's harder to get out and about. That's fine.
It is. It's easy to say, I don't want to go out. I don't like going out. I'm not going out. But then, sort of, we would never have been born because our parents wouldn't have managed to meet each other.
That's true.
And so, I'm sorry, but you can't depend on the device in your hand to um, be sort of there.
Right. And they are not as
Readily.
for real people.
No.
It's a device, it's electronic. On the other side is a person on another electronic device. Whether that person's real or not, probably not.
And one thing that we have that we constantly mention to each other is it's one person, it's one thing talking to somebody. Now, we've been saying now for what, 14 years, 10, 14 for me. Jo's just reminded me earlier she's been on 8.
I've been
Too
on
long for,
7, so
yeah, we've been saying this time and time and time again. If you get a friend or a follow request on social media, it's going to be fake, because I can guarantee that you'll never have met a fella or a woman online. And again, this week we've had a couple of big losses, older men,
yes.
older men, and younger women.
We have had, now I did have a big loss last night, which we haven't finished talking to the family member, but they have just discovered this has been going on for 6 years. And she's lost hundreds of thousands of dollars that they know of right now.
Yeah. And it could be a lot more. I
It
mean,
could be.
it was by chance that they actually got this, they found out about this. So, I got to thinking, I mean, the guy, we have had a $750,000 loss with a guy with no pension left.
That's true.
And I got to thinking that, yeah, we can't stop you talking to them. I wish we could, because I wish you could see what's on the other end, because it's not the good-looking person in the pictures. It is not often they'll send you a picture of an ugly person
That's true.
to try and, the bait. If you think of, you're going fishing and you get, something to go on the end of the hook so that you can put it in and you're going to attract a fish. Well, that's what this is. It's
Right.
exactly what this is. They're going to give you, yes, Diane, I actually am with you in that. I quite stir
Me
the pot
too.
so that they
Me
rot a little
too.
bit quicker. You are not going to get a pretty young girl, 40, 50 years younger than you, coming to you who's looking for daddy, who's looking for somebody to help her because, she just is. How many Gentlemen, how many women do you know in your social circle of about 25 who's married to your friends of about 70 or 80? None. And it's the same with the women.
That's true.
Now, I'm going to qualify this by saying, we're not saying that you're too ugly to catch
No.
a good-looking person. We're not saying that. The idea of you catching one online is little to none. And you're right, Jimmy, because we speak in common sense. I would not expect that a 30-year-old is going to send me a message saying, "Oh, Ruth, I was going through Facebook and I saw your picture and I just couldn't go any further because you're so beautiful. I had to get to know you." I'm sorry, but that is a no-no. That would not happen. I do know people. I know a woman whose um partner is 20 years younger than she is. But they knew each other for 20 years before they got married, before they got together. They were friends, they were good friends, and they just sort of like drifted into a partnership. And that's very unusual. But they knew each other for a long time. And we've got to thinking that half of it in attracting you, in getting you in with these, hi Jen and Linda, with getting you in with these good looking people is one thing.
Right.
And then we're talking money.
True. I mean, first red flag is they are something that is not who would stop dead on the street and start talking to you and tell you you're gorgeous. A second red flag, hey, we're going to fall in love really quick. Another red flag, they're going to be on a job out of the country and can't get back to the country. And then, a huge red flag, money.
Yeah.
Now, when
Now,
that money hits, if you've gone through
yeah,
the other two, block once the money hits.
I talked to a woman last week and she said to me, "Well, you didn't fall in love with me really quickly." I mean, she'd already sent about $28,000, I think it was. She said he didn't really fall in love with me very quickly. And I said, "Well, you've sent all this money." And she said, "Yeah," but she said it went slow. I said, "Well, how long have you been talking to him?" Because they were talking about, because he was going to come back, he was going to give her the money back and they were going to get married. And she
Right.
said to me, 3 months. Now, I thought that was a very short period of time. They'd met online, they'd started to talk, they'd gone to WhatsApp, they talked for a while, but he hadn't said he loved her in 3 days. He'd waited a bit longer. But they were going to get married and she'd sent him all this money in 3 months. Now, I still maintain that in 3 months in real life, yeah, Glenn, she said to me that was slow. I thought, it's not slow to me. I maintain that in 3 months, you would not have been at the point where you're planning on getting married and lending him that much money.
Oh, goodness, no. I mean, if you met this person on the street and talked to him again, 3 months later, and they say, "Can I borrow some money?" Would you give it to them? It's another thing that's real life versus fake life on the internet.
And because we say, well, they're falling in love with you in 3 days, because he waited, a couple of months, she thought this was really slow.
Right.
Then I know you're nice when you give money. I know you're really nice. It's easier for men to spot romance scammers. We just have to find out. Well, Jimmy, they've started to use a lot of the military girls.
Yeah, they
But
have.
Jimmy, can I put something in? Can I make this all a little bit easier for you? You've got a young girl coming to you. That's it. Do you have to find out which porn star? She's bulging out of her top. She's got her hands in all sorts of funny places. And she's come to you. You don't even have to find out which porn star it is. It's fake.
Exactly. And
I
it's
think,
so easy to tell which ones are the adult entertainers because they
yeah.
show a lot more in their photos.
But that one we had the other day. She's on Pinterest as the girl who was dumped by her boyfriend. And she took lots of photographs of her looking very sad. And scammers are now using her. But you know, if you've got a young girl coming to you, guess what? It's
Yeah.
we even give you time saving tips as well. How good are we? You know. But when it gets to the point of money, I don't care how invested you are. You- Oh, Jimmy, don't. Ladies, can I lecture Jimmy Buffett?
Oh, go ahead.
Scam bait them. What a load of absolute trunk. What a load of absolute bollocks, Jimmy. How do you think they get good? Because we get people all the time who come to us, men and women, saying, oh, but they were good. They knew exactly what to say. Okay, how do you think they get good? They get good through practice. How do they get good through practice? Because people like you give them practice. They get good because they are sending you pictures of somebody who has not given them permission to send you pictures. They get good because you basically wasting your own time, not them. For God's sake, they're young kids, they're baiting, they're scamming, 20, 30, 40, 50 at once. Do you know what works, Jimmy Buffett? Silence. Them
Yep.
sat in front of their laptops and their devices and their phones with absolutely nobody to talk to. Now, I do realise, Jimmy Buffett, that when you are scam baiting, they are sending you sexy pics from your porn star. So don't get me going on, oh, I'm scam baiting. No, you're not. You're getting free porn. But don't do it. Don't do it and then come and tell us that you're doing it.
That's
Because I
true.
tell you what, you lot who are the scam baiters, and you don't even really know what that word means. You put what we do back such a long way.
Plus, you're encouraging the scammers to use those stolen photos.
Yeah.
And how do you think that person feels about that?
But it's true, Jane, isn't it? And Jimmy Buffett, how do you think? Because you I know you're going to do little video calls and things like that with their porn stuff. Um, they've got you on it, looking at them on a video call. They've got profile pictures of you. They've got God knows pictures of you, different parts. They're going to use them, and they will use them. And even if it's just your face, they will use that. They will use it for. I've I've gone to this crypto and they've made me lots of money. They make thousands of fake accounts of ordinary people, and they'll use them. So you go ahead,
Facebook
Jimmy Buffett,
Marketplace.
but do not tell us what you're doing, because my opinion of you is about that small, and my opinion of other things about you is about that small. Okay, so anyway, let's go back to sending money.
Yes, that was like our main purpose, the money part.
The Federal Trade Commission reported in 2021, so we're going back 2021, the Federal Trade Commission reported 547 million lost to basic romance scams. We're not looking crypto, we're not talking anything else, we're talking basic. Hello, honey,
Right.
I've just been kidnapped, send some thousands of dollars. We're talking very basic scams. 547 million, and less than 5%, hi Gina, less than 5% are reported. So what do you think the actual amount is that's going across the sea? And you can't you can't confirm the person's identity because it's not them. So you can't. If they send you a passport, it's going to be fake. If they send you an ID, it's going to be fake. If they send you a dick pic, send it to Sandy, because it's her.
Yeah, and that's going to be from a porn site. That's where I've always found them.
Yeah. And you know, Sandy's got more people out of scams through finding the dick pic, honestly, than you have finding the girls in the scam bits. But you can't verify that person's identity because it's not the person. Oh, honey, I'll send you my passport. Would you? Would you really be talking to somebody and say, I'll send you my passport? Then do you be able to... You wouldn't do it in real life, of course you could. They're using stolen photographs. So I know that you're invested in the scam, you don't think that. But then they've got a medical emergency.
Oh, of course.
So they're lying there dying on the hospital bed, and the legs falling off. And until they text the woman that they never met and she sent money through, they won't sew his leg back on again. Now, I know that is trivializing it, but that's sort of what happens, if you know what I mean. Because it is, isn't it, Sandy?
It is. I mean, they make up some medical excuse. They go into a lot of details, but really, what doctor is going to allow you to be on, say, the operating table and you have to have life and death surgery? And he's going to say, call this woman you don't know and tell her she has to pay.
We've even heard where the victims had emails and messages from the doctor telling them to pay.
Yes, we have.
And, um, you see, Eva said there, just meet the person. Exactly. Because if they've said that they're somewhere else across the world, we all know that is. We all know that 100% of the time, that's going to be a scam.
It is.
But we know emotional manipulation helps them get the money. I don't know how.
Right.
We must be
And
missing something, Sandy.
I don't know. I mean, the emotional manipulation, of course, they're in love with you, babe. But the manipulation comes with the guilt trip. My life saving surgery can't be done unless you pay. My son can't be treated for his diabetes unless you pay. My mom can't have her life saving surgery unless you pay. These are all medical emergencies made to make you feel bad, guilty, and that it's urgent.
And also in between, they've got things like, they need the money. Then can you send the money immediately? They need so much money, but I love you very much, babe. Do you know, I
Right.
was just looking at your pictures and you're so beautiful. I can't wait to get there to be with you. So when we look at the conversation, they make little love sandwiches, really, because you've got a request for money and I love you very much, babe. But if you could just send it today because it's really, really urgent. But I love you so much. You are so beautiful. I can't wait to be with you. So the victim tends to read those bits, not the bits about the money.
That's true.
But you can't. You cannot. You've got to have your head screwed on.
Yeah, you need to take out the emotional bits and read just the words.
And think about if spending this money would give you any financial hardship at all, why do you do it? Why do you put yourself in financial hardship for somebody else that you've never met? And it is just an emotional attachment. I know it's not a just, but fair enough. You want to talk to somebody for 5 years, that's up to you to waste your life. But when you're wasting what you work for all your life for somebody you do not know, we well, I've got a list here. never send money. Never. It's so simple. Because if somebody loved you as much and as madly as they say they are, and you said, look, I haven't got that much money, babe, I can't send it to you. They would say, oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked.
They
And they
should
would
say
rush
that.
it. Yeah.
Right. But they don't. They'll take the last breadcrumb out of your mouth. They'll take the roof over your head. They'll take your last drop of water. And they don't have a care in the world. But somebody that really loves you is not going to do that to you.
Ones I particularly like, and we have this a lot. My mum's in hospital. So many mums are in hospital. They should be like me. I refuse to go. And I need $2,000 for her surgery. Have you ever seen hospital bills? You wouldn't get a band-aid for $2,000.
That's true.
You wouldn't get a lift to the you wouldn't get in the ambulance to the hospital for 2,000, would you? Um, I need 2,000 for her surgery anyway. She's getting it cheap. Walmart surgery, this is. Can you pay in gift cards? Now, how many times do we hear that, Sandy?
A lot. They pay for everything in gift cards. They pay for food on the base. They pay for hospital bills. They pay for internet.
Hi, Dana.
I, they pay for airline tickets.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can get with
Hi, Dana.
a few Steam cards. But
That's
you
true.
think about it, and I'm trying to put your online life and your online romance to an ordinary life situation here. So, although your Kelvin is in the military and he's in Syria and he's dying on the medical, his legs hanging off, I'm trying to put it as if he was really there with you, right? How many times in real life has anybody asked you for gift cards to pay for anything? Because I
They,
can reckon it's going to be a big fat zero.
that's true.
I mean, gift cards are nice for Christmas,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
they are. But to pay the hospital bill for mom's surgery, that doesn't work.
and they say it a lot.
Hmm.
And it's amazing how the US military, if you want to go on leave, you can pay for your leave and your airline ticket with iTunes cards.
Yes,
Think. Because something's got to stop you paying. And I'm sorry, it's got to be you because we're not there.
that's true. And that's the whole thing about trying to educate people is to get them to read the information, to get them to think with common sense. So to think, stop and think.
Because, I mean, I've got one here that I had in the week. I lost my wallet and I really want to come and see you, but I need $1,500 for a plane ticket. Can you send them in iTunes cards? I've bought lots of plane tickets. I've never once spent iTunes cards for plane tickets. And also, what I would like to address now, and it's all to do with don't send exactly, Glenn. Do you know I could shake them, some of them. Crypto.
Yes. We
How
have
many
too
people?
many scams that involve
Yeah.
crypto right now.
How many people do you know in your daily life use crypto instead of a bank? Have you ever bought crypto? Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm going to put my money in crypto, whatever that means? Because I actually don't know. I actually was going to pay for a subscription on a site. Yes, it was a site that we used to use, and they changed it to paid subscription. And I thought, well, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. Pay for the subscription, see what happens. And they wanted the money in crypto. I couldn't even work out how to. set up an account to pay the subscription, so we've never had it.
Was that face check?
Hmm.
Because I tried to do the same thing and I couldn't figure out how to get it to work. And, honestly, the only person I've ever really talked to crypto about is my two daughters, and they both work in, the financial industry. And both of them I have asked, what do you think of crypto? Would you advise people to invest in it? And the answer is no.
Because it's not an investment. It's somewhere where you can, I mean, if you think if you're going to buy stocks and shares, right? Um, and that's about as technical as I get with that. But you're going to spend some money on the stock market. And so today you're going to buy $1,000 worth of shares. By 2 weeks' time, that $1,000 is going to be worth probably about 900, or if you're lucky, $1,001. It's not going to be worth $40,000, which is what they tell you when they say we can help you. We can help you to um, sort of
Invest and
invest and
earn,
make it,
yeah,
yeah, and make a lot of money. We
invest
have a
with high returns.
we have a guy on Instagram who scammers use, and he's a very successful investor, but he invests in shares and crypto and everything, and he's great because we can go to him and we can ask questions, and he's really good. And bless him, he actually offered to teach me how to invest. But do you know what he said? The thing is, you haven't got to invest more money than you can afford to lose. So that was me
Hmm.
out. That was me out. So I didn't
I
ever.
I've heard that from the financial industry for a long time. Do not invest more than you can afford to lose, because any type of investment is going to be a risk. Usually say bonds are low risk, and then you go up into shares of various companies, and they can go up to high risk. Crypto, that varies so much
Yeah.
from what I'm seeing that it would be very, very high risk, and you can lose it all in a day.
And you can think, well, it's actually, Gina, we decided when we came back from our holiday, we decided we liked it so much that when we win the lottery, we were going to go back again. So we put some lottery tickets on. Do you know what? I put the lottery on 3 weeks in a row for us. We all chose some numbers, and I put the same numbers on. Do you know what, Gina? I deserved a medal because in those 3 weeks, I didn't even get one number.
I think I was about the same for the
I
US
didn't even,
lottery.
yeah, it said matched numbers, zero. Matched numbers. 3 weeks, I matched zero numbers. I think that's quite good. But yeah, so Bitcoin. Why do you think scammers use Bitcoin? Well, I'll give you the first most important thing, because if I sent Sandy some money by bank wire and I said, "Oh, Sandy, give me it back." I was going to be nice to you, but I'm not. Give me it back.
Right, right.
Sandy could send me that money back, or I could say to the bank, she conned me. She told me she needed the money and I found out she didn't give me it back. The bank could return within a very short space of time, but the bank can reverse that transaction.
Yes.
In Bitcoin, into a Bitcoin wallet, that transaction cannot be reversed. So it
Mm-mm.
doesn't matter whether it's 1 hour later, 1 minute later, or 1 month later. The transaction that you put into that Bitcoin wallet cannot ever be returned. And who's just said, somebody just said there, because it's anonymous. You've seen a Bitcoin wallet, it's 16 digits or something.
Yeah, it's quite a few digits. And if you sit and watch it, we do see some Bitcoin wallets and numbers, and we do check them. And the ones that we can check, most of the time, anytime the money has gone in, it's directly transferred, like within minutes.
Yeah.
And then I think there was one that we watched where somebody told us about it. I can't remember exactly. Um, but the money went in, then it went out to one account, then it went out to 10, and then it went out to 20 more. And I mean, it was just moved and split and split and split.
Hi, Candy.
So it's really untraceable at this time.
Yeah. And that's not going to change because it is huge, huge for money laundering. Absolutely huge for
Hmm.
money laundering. Um,
And it's so easy to, um, the scammers can set up the wallets for you. They just, will tell you, hey, here's your login and here's your password and here's your wallet. And they'll move the money for you. They'll say, oh, my friend's sending it to your wallet, but I'm going to take it out so we can invest it or something, some excuse. But the scammers will set up the wallet for you. But they are very patient at telling you how to do it as well.
well, it depends as to where you are because during the night to you, I don't know if you're in the United States, is during the day to me. And I'm in same time zone as Nigeria because it goes in stripes and, UK is up there, Nigeria is down there. So it depends on the time zone. But it's safe. It is completely, and yeah. So they tend to work a lot during their night because, it's they have to work shifts because they've got to scam the states. So
Yeah.
Europe's quite good for them because they can talk to us during the day. They've got to work night shift to scam you lot, and by come they do. But crypto, think of everything that your lover is telling you, and it's evil, Esther. Absolutely, there's no other word for it. There's no other word for it. Think of
No.
everything that your scammer is telling you, and does it resonate with anything that you know in normal life? Because I can guarantee it won't. And a woman said to us, a woman said to me last week, yeah, but my scam was different from everybody else's. Well, I wish I
Yeah.
had $1 for every time we hear that as well. Have you, I mean, have you ever heard of a scam where they actually get married to you online?
And
Yep.
yes, we have heard of that a lot, actually.
You pay for it.
I,
You
I mean,
pay.
I even have a fake website that they've used for marriages online, and it does in very small print, say for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
But people do not read that, and so they think they are actually married to their love that's across the world.
Eva said, is it likely they are only located in Nigeria? No. Oh, could they be working individually? I'll tell you why they're not working individually, but I'll also tell you why they won't only be located in Nigeria because they move around, because they've
Right.
got contacts. South Africa, we've got loads in South Africa, haven't we, Sandy? We get a
Yeah.
lot from there, a lot from Dubai because they can get from Nigeria to Dubai, and a lot get to the States, which is great because when they slip up, they get arrested in the United States where they don't in Nigeria. The reason they don't work individually is scams are big. They need websites, they need backup, they need other people, they need people to cover 24 hours if they want to take a day off. They need photoshopping on the pictures, they need documents. It's not one person, one laptop, one victim.
No, it's
This is a
a
team.
huge industry.
Because some are good at talking and some are good at doing things. And the ones in the background, the ones that do the fake websites are good. The banking and the shipping websites, they're damn good.
They
But
are.
not every, hello honey, love you so much, babe, dream of me. I'm sorry.
She's attacking my feet.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to ignore Hadia and I'm not managing. I thought Pinder used to be trouble, but Nadia takes it to a whole new level. Um,
She does.
but they've got lots and lots of backups, and as I say, some of them are, because you've got a lot of uh, university students, especially tech ones, are into scamming, so they can do technical things and set up. They can do these AI messages. They can do fake video calls and things like this. But it's not one person. I'm not
No.
saying most of the ones that we deal with, we find that mostly, they'll slip up with a telephone number. TikTok's actually good because there's a tracker on TikTok and it tells you which country that TikTok um, account is based in. I don't think we
Yeah,
found any that haven't been in Nigeria yet, including the ones impersonating us.
that's true. Will you hush?
You even had a supposed FedEx delivery to my work email account. And yeah, I mean, and they're good hackers. I'm sorry, but they are very good hackers.
They
Now,
are.
you know, we say that to people, and you can tell the glaze over, and oh yeah, all right, and they don't. They don't believe us, and then sort of 3 weeks later, we'll get this bizarre message through from the person that we'd warned in the first place, and attack their account.
Yeah. Or they've come back with a new account and said, oh, my old account got hacked. Well, yes, we did try to tell you. You
Yeah,
continued to talk to the scammer. That was your choice. And I'm not victim shaming here, but once you know the truth, stop because you can and will get hacked.
and do you know the thing is that they can hack your Facebook? They can hack easily because you click on a link because it's a very pretty picture or it's a very nice song or it's lovely, it's all romantic. You click on it and they're in. That Facebook account is in your phone, and I
That's
wish I
true.
had $1 for every phone that's been hacked. And once they're in your phone, they've got everything.
Well, we had one lady, it's been a few years ago, and I think she was actually one Pam had, that they'd actually hacked into her Wi Fi server and she changed her phone numbers, it changed her phone, um, but it ended up being in her Wi-Fi box, and so she ended up having to go get a new box. But it took them forever to figure it out. That's what it was.
Yeah, they can do it. I mean, how technical are we? Come on, you know, let's be really honest about this. How technical are we? We're not. But
No,
they are. That's their life. That's their business. These are not, well, I have to do this because our government is so bad and we're starving. I haven't eaten for 3 days. And, that's another script. It's a format. That's not what's happening at the other end. What's happening at the other end is somebody is telling you this. It's probably dripping in thick gold, who's
that's
waiting
true.
for you to put money into his Bitcoin wallet, who's got 3 iPhones talking to 5 different women at the same time, and he's got a MacBook that he's just had delivered off another woman he's been talking to. So don't fall for whatever they come to you and say to you, because many of you do.
And honestly, people say, but my scam was different. In as many years as we've all been doing this, we have heard it all. The only difference may be a name, a location, and that's it.
We did have a very, very good kidnapped one
Mm-hmm.
where in the background you could hear, ooh, 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 ow, ow, ow. And they were pretending in the background they were beating him up so that she had to send money, which was very funny. But being kidnapped, it's 10 a penny. They all do, they all get kidnapped. Every scam is scripted, and they're not clever enough. They're clever enough to have a look through because they wind me up something terrible when we can't find the picture of the man they're using. So they can go and they can find new pictures. What they don't find is news stories.
Well, the stories are always the same with a variation to fit what they think your perfect partner is. We have been seeing some more AI photos coming out, not just the face merge ones, but some actual AI created ones. They are really hard to tell. There's usually a few of us that look at it before we even post it. A lot of them have been Austin Scott Miller. You know, some of the generals are more what we're getting. But you can tell it's him, but it's a younger version. Or the hair's different, or there's something different about it, but it's still, you know, you can go on Grok and ask them to AI your photo. Or there's apps. There was one whole app that I sent to Ruth, and it has a whole menu down the side on how to do the video calls, and I mean the whole works,
Yeah.
the voice cloning, everything. Um, so they are easy to get that stuff in order to do the AI photos, the AI videos,
Yeah.
and even actually type AI messages.
Or onto it. A lot of people know that I like Twitter, and it's Grok that they use for Twitter. But they get some very, very long, wordy AI messages, and you can tell the AI messages.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just, scamming is getting easier. And also, when you say, can they do it on their own? It's like saying my scam was different to everybody else's. No, they can't do it on their own, and no, they're not doing it on their own. You might think they are. You might think they're not Nigerian. There's a lovely lady who lost over $1 million who argued with me for weeks that can't be Nigerian. He was far too intelligent. They used to talk about business. They used to talk about all sorts of things. And then he gave her a video call.
And guess what?
He was Nigerian. So,
Right.
we're not just making this stuff up.
No, and yes, there are scammers from other places, but as far as the romance scams are concerned, 95 to 99% come out of Nigeria or have a background that ties into Nigeria.
Yeah. So, oh, your scam's not going to be any different, and that doesn't matter. The
No.
fact is that you have been in a scam. And I will say it again, and it's not a welcome thing that I do say. I'll say it again. 100% of scams could be stopped at source if only there was that little bit of hesitation and there was that little bit of doing the research that you do at the end. If only you did that at the beginning. We
That's
can
true.
help you. Come to us. We'll look at pictures for you. We'll have a look at what they're saying. We'll have a look at everything, whether it's you, whether it's your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, the chap three doors down the street. Come to us. We do this a lot every day for free.
Yes, we do.
And that's important because not everybody does. Okay, oh Candy, I've got a thing. Well, we both got a thing, actually. We get so many people coming to us saying, well, actually, I'm part-time FBI and I'm a private investigator. Well, that just sets us off because you can imagine what sort of person they are when they actually say that. Oh, honestly, I mean,
Well, and most of the
you
ones
know,
that are like that, they do their own investigating and they come out
yeah,
with the wrong answers. They're the ones that blame the person in the photos.
yeah.
And
And
they
then,
have proof, but they never show us proof.
but a lot of the times the proof is, but I know it's him. Now, if I accused Sandy of stealing $1 million from me, and I took her to court. I took her to court, and the judge said to me, "Give me the proof." And I said, "I just know it's her." How do you think that would go down in court?
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't, because everything needs proof. But don't come to us and say, "I just know it's him."
True. There are ones that I've asked the proof that you have, is it provable in a court of law in front of a judge? And that's usually when I don't get an answer. Well, no, that's because it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it's
Hi,
him
Kathy.
or her.
And also, when you have something like this, and they are blaming the person that's in the picture, they are not looking to see what a scam is. You know you've been in a scam, so you know it's all been fake. You know you've lost the money. You know um he is not who he says he is. That's fine. When you don't accept that it's not the person in the picture, well, that could happen again. Because the next time some good-looking man comes to you, you might think, should I? Because it's happened to me once.
Hi, Kathy.
Um, should I? Should I? Oh, well, yeah, go on. I'll give him a chance because he looks nice. So the first thing you say to this new good-looking man is, "I've already been scammed once, so don't you dare ask me for money, because you'll get nothing." So the scammer thinks and says, "Oh, honey, I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't dream of doing it." So they just talk to you for longer and longer.
Exactly. They groom you for longer and then they hit you when you're least expecting it.
And Sandy, how many victims are multiple victims?
Oh, good grief.
More than you
I would
think.
say, yeah, almost 50% because they do come back to us time and time again. I love the ones that come back to us and say, hey, can you check into him before I start talking to him? That, we love those.
Yeah,
But when you get it that comes in and says, I been talking to this guy. Can you check him? He's saying this, 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 and this. And if you go back through the conversation, you can see they've been scammed two, three, four other times. You've got a repeat victim. And so something needs to
hi,
change
Pam.
within that victim to get rid of, making themselves a victim, for putting themselves out there and being victimized over and over. So do the proper research so that you are not that victim again.
If you look at the research as to where the scanners are coming from, and there is as much out there, and just even on our pages, everybody else's pages, there is
Right.
as much information because people know they're being scammed, and that seems to stop. That's where the nosiness stops. But if you look further and you learn about Nigerian scammers, you learn about West African scammers, you learn about cyber criminals. If you learn that, it can't happen to you again because you've gone that extra mile, and you know that in the background there is a hotel room full of Nigerians who are scamming you. And then you learn, because look at all our ladies. You can tell all our ladies who've been here far too long, Candy. Um, and Jane, and Jane, and Pam. Yeah, they all know where they're from. They all know where the scams are, what they do, and where they're from. And so we know that, and they tell other people. But their research didn't stop at, well, that's it. We had that one that came to us yesterday. The one where 2 weeks ago we told her he was fake.
Oh, yeah.
But he keeps sending her new pictures to say, "Look, I've just took this picture for you. How can I be fake?" So yesterday she came back asking us if he was fake. Well, yeah. I mean, we even told her who the guy was.
Yeah, we did.
So it wasn't like we were, not saying, well, we don't know who he is, but, this is bound to be a scam. She's not a very well-off person, and she's got a $7,000 loan that she can't pay.
Right. And it's a lien against her vehicle. So if she can't pay that lien, she's going to lose her vehicle. You lose a vehicle, most of the time you can't go to work.
And she's hoping, and well, I think now the scammers are leaning towards a recovery scam
Yeah.
but she will not block them, and all the time she's not blocking them. They are coming back and they are giving her more rubbish, basically.
Right. And I'm going to pay you back, honey.
Really sorry you're in this situation, but I'm going to pay you back. And it's horrible because this woman's desperate. And she really is. She's really, really desperate. She's not from a very wealthy nation. She's not from a wealthy situation. And she had a handsome American who was going to, rescue her from all this, and they were going to live happily ever after. And yes, shortness, it's a way of life in Nigeria. And it's not because it's a poor African country, because there are African countries that are a lot poorer than Nigeria and they don't scam. It is because that is what they do. In Nigeria, they started it donkeys years ago, decades ago, with the Nigerian prince.
Yeah.
And now it's just, you know, now it's just expanded a lot more because it's easy.
Yeah. The internet has made it very simple to do these scams. And, it is wonderful to be loving and trusting and, a basic human being that is kind, but be suspicious of everything.
Be as suspicious online as you'd be in real life. Be
Yeah.
as suspicious of somebody coming to you on Facebook as you would be if somebody came to your front door.
Well, yeah. I
Exactly,
mean,
Candy. And I can't say that because if I said that, we'd get cut off. But I agree with every word you say, because when we download this, all those words on the bottom aren't there, so we
that's
can
true.
agree with you. Well, yeah, they can get away with it because it's the way the whole thing works. And before we go, we'll tell you that we do watch the EFCC, which is the cybercrime unit, and we watch who they take to court, who they arrest, and who they take to court. And the judge says you've got 2 to 3 years in prison, or
Pay a fine.
and it's like anything from $50 to $200. It's pocket
Yeah.
change to them. So I
We went back through the last 3 years, and all the records say paid fine, paid fine, paid fine. None of them served their sentences.
not one went to prison. But if they've bought a few laptops, a few iPhones, car with the money they're scammed with, the Nigerian government will sell those things that they've gotten with their crime money and keep the proceeds of the sale.
Yep. The money never goes back to the victim.
No. So the Nigerian government's got a good little side scam, good little side hustle going on of its own. So that's why it's up to us, ladies. And it is up to us.
Yes, it is.
So I didn't think we'd get on tonight after I kept getting these an unexpected error has occurred.
Well, I hope I don't get that because I come back in about a half hour with Caesar. So,
So we will say thank you. Don't go away. Make yourself a cup of tea. And then Sandy is back, as we say, with Caesar. I'm undergoing some medication, shall we say. So I'm not doing late I'm not doing late live chats
yeah.
anymore. So I'll have to make some arrangements with Dustin. But yeah, so I've got this weird thing wrong with me, but never mind, it's slowly getting better. So thank you, Sandy. And
Thank you.
you see, Hadia thinks that Hadia thinks she's won, hasn't she?
Well, she's now sitting on my lap chewing a dog treat.
Yeah, but she's not going to expect you doing another one of these with Caesar in half an
Oh,
hour.
no, she's not going to, but she's going in the bathroom this time.
Thank you, Candy, and love to Team Flynn. And Chris Peterson says, there's always one that joins right at the end.
Yep.
Try and come in a little bit closer next time. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye
All
now.
right.
Sandy will
Bye.
see you in half an hour.